Hello, listeners. This is your host, Delicious Morsels, speaking. Tell me, do you tire of the mediocrities of everyday life? Do you feel the constraints of society and wish to break free from their shackles that bind you? Then please, join myself and my fellow hosts as we embark on a journey to the sprawling underwater utopia of Rapture, where one is not held to any standard but his own. Please join us as we discuss that one game, BioShock. Hello there, friends, and welcome to episode 28 of That One Gaming Podcast. I'm Colin, otherwise known as Delicious Morsels, and here today we've got Lucas, aka Carnevil9. How are you, Lucas?
Doing good. My wife and kid are not trapped in a submarine.
That's very fortunate. That's a very unfortunate thing to happen to anybody's wife and child.
Indeed. Would you kindly introduce our next host?
I guess I could also introduce Neal here, who is better known as VMK89. How is Neal today?
I'm like Atlas. I shrugged. I'm alright.
Anyway, if you are new to this podcast, welcome. You can find us on Spotify, Apple, Google, or one of many other podcasting platforms out there where the three of us get together every other week to talk about a variety of topics in the world of gaming. But wait. Another one there is. Because we've got a guest on this episode. Max, how you doing?
Life is good.
All right. So, our listeners, if you listen to the That One Gaming Podcast side quest episode about Fire Emblem Engage, you'll have heard Max already. So we've got him on the main podcast finally, which is awesome. Good to have you, Max.
Good to be here.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh yeah.
So on today's show, with our special guest, we are going to take you 20,000 leagues under the sea as we explore the magnificent underwater metropolis of Rapture in the 2007 masterpiece BioShock. Developed by Irrational Games and published by 2K, BioShock released on August 21st of 2007 to unanimous critical acclaim. The team behind the game was also responsible for 1999's System Shock 2, and it was developed sort of as a spiritual successor to that. In BioShock, the player takes control of the character Jack, who stumbles upon Rapture by means of an oddly convenient plane crash. Upon his arrival, Jack is quickly swept up in a fight for survival as he is led along by a mysterious man by the name of Atlas in his quest to usurp Rapture from Andrew Ryan, the city's founder. The game takes place in a pseudo-futuristic version of the 1960s, and gameplay consists of a combination of first-person gunplay and special powers known as plasmids that the player collects throughout the city. Over the course of the game's 12-hour campaign, the player is met with an onslaught of crazed Rapture residents known as Splicers, a giant armored diving suit wearing behemoths known as Big Daddies, and the strange little girls they protect referred to as Little Sisters, all while slowly discovering the events that led up to Rapture's descent into madness and Jack's role in all of it. BioShock is frequently referred to as one of the greatest games of all time and is a shining example in the argument for video games as pieces of art. But before we get into our main topic discussion, Neal, would you kindly tell us what you've been playing today?
Oh, we're out of order. I've been playing BioShock and not much else. So BioShock is
Ah,
really good, but we're gonna
yeah.
talk about that in a bit.
We are. Yeah, I went to you first out of order very strategically because I have a feeling that Lucas, Max, and myself are all probably playing the same exact game.
Yeah. I am not
So
playing that game.
yeah, Street Fighter 6. It's really good.
It's very good.
It looks fun for people that can play fighting games, but I'm not one of those.
Ah,
Yeah, it's
but
definitely not for everybody.
yeah.
Yeah.
I would
It's
not
fun,
I probably would not have picked it up myself if it weren't for the new modern control scheme. Just because Street Fighter in the past has just always been a little bit outside of my reach. I tried with Street Fighter 4 and just couldn't really do it. But when they announced that they were kind of doing something to kind of bridge the gap between the hardcore and the more casual fighting game enjoyers that I kind of fall into, I was like, oh, I'll give this one a shot. And yeah, it's really good.
Yeah. I think JJ, another friend of ours that's also been riding the Street Fighter 6 trains, her and I have kind of come to the consensus that the modern controls are almost like anime fighter mode.
It does kind of feel that way. I do have played Grand Blue Fantasy Versus also, and it does kind of control a little bit like that to an extent.
Yeah. Been experimenting with a leverless style control play with my new keyboard.
I've been playing with a controller.
I never really cared for needing to go to the shoulder buttons for punches and kicks. On
Understandable.
the gamepad, Street Fighter.
Have you seen that new gamepad that I think Hori makes it? That it literally just takes the R2 or the R1 and R2 buttons and it just puts them next to the triangle and circle, sort of like a Genesis 6 button layout. But then it
the funky Sega Saturn looking thing.
Yeah, and then on the left side of the controller, it's only got a single thumbstick, so it doesn't have two joysticks. But it's got on the left side of the controller, it's got the D-pad and the thumbstick, and on the right side, it's like a 6-button Genesis controller, basically. It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
It's a
I've
pretty
seen
decent
those
compromise
around.
for that, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah, that one. Yeah, it was Hori. Yeah,
yeah,
it's a pretty
Yep.
neat looking controller.
yeah.
I think if I finally decide to really take the plunge and really take some time and really get comfortable with the classic controls, which I'd like to do at some point, I'll probably pick one of those up for myself. Just because, when I was trying to, because when I started the game, I was like, all right, I'm gonna start with classic controls. I'm gonna try this, and the shoulder buttons for the heavies was a little bit of a throw off.
Yeah.
And then also I found that it just comes from a lack of real fighting game experience. I mean, I've played a ton of fighting games over the years, but I've never really committed to any of them. They've all just been kind of like fun every now and then playing with friends type things. And I find that I always, once situations get tense, just kind of devolve into more button mashy type play patterns, and classic controls and Street Fighter are not button mashy.
Yeah. Yeah. Most of my fighting game experience comes from the Blaze Blue series, courtesy of Max.
Yeah, it's a good
Yeah.
series. I'm not sure if we'll come back after Cross Tag didn't do too well, but
Yeah, Cross Tag seems very simplified compared to the mainline games.
very much so.
I haven't actually fired up Cross Tag since purchasing it, but it's seems very different just looking at Dust Loop.
They actually basically use a command scheme, kind of like the modern controls in Street Fighter 6, where you have combos assigned to individual buttons, and so you just hit the individual buttons to do the combos as opposed to doing inputs.
Interesting.
But yeah, I've really been enjoying going through the world tour mode, which I think is, for my money, it's the best single player mode I've played in a fighting game by far. And typically that's when I do
like the
pick.
overall.
Yeah, when I do pick up a fighting game, I mean, it's more often than not for the single player because I don't often get the opportunity to log on and play at the same time as you guys. So most of my time spent in fighting games is playing single player stuff. So it's really cool that they really went all out with the Street Fighter World Tour.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I do have a couple of gripes with it, but yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah,
of fun
it's
so far.
not. It's not perfect, but like it does. Once you unlock more and more and more moves, and you want to really get crazy with your customization, it does kind of hold you back a little bit with how many moves that you can stack up and stuff like that. So that I did find that was a little bit of a point of contention for me as well. But I'm just
1/4 circle forward, 1/4 circle backward, a dragon punch, up and down and left and right charges.
Yep.
Not really
And
just one
after
each.
after chapter 1, you can actually switch from the modern to classic, and then as you level up, you gain more slots to have more special moves. So kind of eases people into their character, or I guess depending on whose style they choose.
Yeah.
It's a really good source for just tutorializing the game itself. Also, like all of the mini games are actually designed to teach mechanics as opposed to just being little distractions around the world and stuff. So that's always really cool to see.
Yeah.
Like I like the I haven't done too many of them, but I did do the one where you're like just breaking boards of wood and it teaches you how to do all like the verticality and stuff like that with your character and stuff, because like the positions the wood changes at different levels and stuff. Hard to explain. Yeah.
I like that there's like a EMD SD40 looking diesel engine that you can go
Yes. Yes, the freaking classic beating up a car from Street Fighter 2, it is back, but this time it's a freaking semi truck.
Yeah.
And it's really fun to freaking beat up. But like, how about what characters are you guys maining typically? Because you know when you get a fighting game, you really want to strap down and focus on 1-2 characters or so to kind of really get good. You don't want to sit there and just kind of go all around and stuff and just picking random whatever characters, because you'll never really improve that way.
Correct. I've been playing Luke and a bit of trying to kind of learn a different character. He's who I started out with, but not sure if I want to stick with him or change off to someone else. I really like how Jamie's looking, but just haven't put the time in yet.
Yeah, Jamie's really cool. He
Alcohol.
looks really complicated with just the charging of the alcohol and stuff like that.
Right.
But yeah, I've been focusing mainly on Luke, and I didn't think I would really like him going into it because he's basically just another Ryu, and we already have Ryu and Ken. But he differentiates himself enough, and I didn't really care for Ryu's playstyle too much in the past either. He's very safe, I guess, as far as Street Fighter characters go. I mean, he
is definitely the vanilla-est.
Yeah, he is.
Yes.
Yeah, so I didn't know how I was going to like Luke going into it, but actually sitting and you start with Luke's style in World Tour mode. So I was already kind of getting that little bit of experience with him just starting in World Tour. And then when I went over to actually play in online casual, which is where I just kind of started working my way through it, I found that I really actually played somewhat decently with Luke compared to the other characters, and it was a lot easier for me to kind of grasp, even more so than Ryu. So I was like, oh, I like this. I love his Sandblast as opposed to the Hadouken, because it's a lot more versatile, I feel like, because the Hadouken, it's only got the one projectile where you can actually like mix it up and do a sneaky second projectile if you charge it, or not charge it, but do the, I think it's EX
Overdrive
mode.
it.
Yeah, overdrive it. Yeah, there's a lot of terminology that I'm not quite up on yet.
Yeah. It's seems to be a bit faster projectile too than just the traditional Hadouken.
Yep. It's really easy to catch people off guard with, which I really like about that. It's a good finisher, I found.
Yep.
Yeah, it's real oppressive when you're just trying to get that last hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found it really useful, especially just kind of baiting people into you when they're low on health and stuff. It's really good to kind of just get that 1-2 punch in there really quick to close off a match.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm probably going to lean into Cammy just because that's kind of who I found I was decent as back in Street Fighter 2 or Super Street Fighter 2.
Cammy's great.
Manuel, one of the new characters, is fun.
I hear they changed Cammy up a lot versus previous iterations in this one, though.
They honestly gave her a lot more tools,
Yeah.
which is, you know, some people would argue, oh, she didn't need it, but I think they've kind of dialed every character up to 11 in this game. Whereas when Street Fighter V came out, they kind of like dialed everyone back and kind of locked everything either behind a V skill or V trigger. So I think it's overall a better option for the series because as you learn, like having more options just makes the game more interesting and it kind of keeps your
Right.
attention longer. Whereas if everything is kind of you do A, if they do A, then you do B, then the game kind of becomes stale.
Yeah. I really, really like the starting roster in this game. I don't think there's a single character that I haven't enjoyed playing against. There's a couple that are still very, very difficult for me to beat when I do play against them, but it's not.
You're a
Yeah.
better man than me because I hate Blanca and E Honda.
I haven't played against a lot of Blancas and Hondas yet, to be perfectly honest.
Okay. I will enlighten you.
Oh boy. I think the
All
character
aboard the Bad Time Express.
the characters I struggle against the most currently are JP and probably also Kimberly.
Yeah, they're very impressive in each way,
Oh,
either
man.
from projectiles or from in your face.
Yeah, like
Yep.
the I've only played against one JP player online, but it was just this completely rude play pattern where he's like spamming the little move that shoots up out of the ground. So I try to get out of the way of that, and then I end up just running into another attack in my attempt to get away from the one. Yeah, JP's pretty cool though. I like the character design.
Yeah.
His alternate costume, he's just a pimp.
Nice. Manuel is scary.
Yeah,
Do not
Manon
let
is
her
really,
dance with
yeah.
you.
Do not let Manon dance with you. It's a bad idea. It's a really bad idea.
And her medals carry between matches too. So like, extra don't let her dance with you.
Yeah. Yeah, she's really cool because like her grapples power up the more and more you land them, which is a really neat design.
Just don't let them connect because you will die very quickly because of how quick that scales up. And
yeah.
in the next round, you'll die even quicker because they're still scaled up from the first round.
Yeah.
Also, Marisa will just straight up punch you in half.
Yeah, she's insane. Like, I think they said that she's like the biggest, like, just raw damage dealer in the game. And because of
I
that, like,
believe it.
her
specials deal more
yeah.
damage than some combos I've seen.
Yeah,
or
like,
at least it feels.
Yeah, she hits like a truck, which makes sense because she is as big as a truck.
Yep.
Very, very tall, buff woman.
Yeah.
But Max, you're like our fighting game expert, though. I mean, you're the one that, out of all of us, is the one that gets us into the fighting games. So,
Right.
where would you kind of place Street Fighter 6 as far as like your preferences go in a fighting game? I'm kind of curious.
Well, to be quite honest, I think I tried to give every fighting game a shot. The one I've been the most disappointed in, at least for what I was excited for, was I really disliked Street Fighter V, and that's because, well, like I mentioned before, it kind of limited your options. You didn't really have a whole lot of things you could do. Now, after about 3 or 4 years, kind of when Champion Edition came out, they had added a bunch of different things that you can do where like more defensive mechanics. I believe it's called V-Shift, and it allowed you to kind of get out of some situations where before you kind of just had to take them. You had to guess between either a strike or a throw. So I'm thinking that, like, they've really outdone themselves with adding the modern controls and adding more single player content and kind of having it as like a good entry point to the fighting game franchises. Now, at a certain point, like, it's going to take a lot of personal effort to get, like, past a certain plateau you reach, but I do think that it's been an easier jumping point, and they've added a lot more tutorials, like Colin said, with the mini games, where they kind of say, you know what, in this situation, try going for this because it's going to work. So I would say that it's honestly probably in my top 5 right now.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah, I would say in all the fighting games that I've tried over the years, it's definitely up there for me as well, just from an accessibility standpoint. I feel like I can actually get in and really enjoy this one. And I've always liked Street Fighter. Like, I've always admired it kind of from the outside. I mean, I played Street Fighter 2 on the SNES like way back when I was a kid. I mean, I didn't have any idea what I was doing back then, but that was my first experience with it, and I liked it back then. It was really cool. The characters looked cool, and it was fun to play against my friends that I had and stuff. But once
And Kyle's theme goes with everything.
yeah,
It does.
but like once kind of like the online generation came about with like Street Fighter 4 and stuff, and started really getting to experience like how good people out there in the world really are at these things, that's where I kind of started to fall off of Street Fighter, just because I just couldn't hold my own at all against them. It was too complex for me. So having the option of accessibility for this one has really put it up there for me. And
For
it's really kind of revitalized my interest in fighting games as a whole. Like, I'm super excited that we're getting so many like all the big fighting game franchises are kind of like dropping new titles on us this year, and Street Fighter's
Mortal
kicking
Kombat
it
1,
off.
Tekken 8.
Yeah. So based on the gameplay for Mortal Kombat 1, what they showed off, I don't know if that's going to be a day one for me. I think I'm still going to kind of hold off and pick that one up later on a sale or something, just because it just looks like Mortal Kombat 11 again, as far as the single player goes, with just these added cameo fighters. And which, granted, it looks like you can do some cool stuff with it, but I don't think it's like a big reinvention, kind of like what they really did when they overhauled Street Fighter 6.
Yeah, it's definitely more in akin to Mortal Kombat 11 for me, which I really enjoyed 10 a lot more. So if it's more on the 11 side, it's not really something that I'll probably pick up on the first day.
Yeah. And like the story mode in particular, I think now that Street Fighter 6 exists, I'm kind of just over the cutscene fight style of story modes for fighting games. I think like Street Fighter really showed that you can really integrate a story. I mean, the story in Street Fighter 6 is not anything to really write home about. It's very basic as far as storytelling goes, but just the overall way of experiencing it is so much better than any other fighting game has really done before. So I don't know if I want to go back to like the Mortal Kombat style of storytelling, even though their storytelling is far superior to what we got in Street Fighter 6.
About Guilty Gear Strive, that has essentially a full CG animated movie for its story.
I am looking forward to picking up Guilty Gear once it goes on sale this summer. Summer sale is going to be like a week or two from this episode, so looking forward to that.
Big summer blowout.
Big summer blowout. Anyway, let's just get on to our main topic discussion. Hey Neal, you still there?
I sure am.
All right. Yeah. Let's get on to our main topic discussion now. So, BioShock. It's a really good game.
Fun game.
Yeah.
Holy cow, it's good.
Yeah.
Where do we
Yeah.
start?
Well, you see you're in an airplane, and then
Yep.
all of a sudden the airplane crashes, and then you're in water, and then you see this lighthouse, and then you swim to the lighthouse, and you're like, "What the heck? There's a lighthouse? It just happens to be right there where my plane crashed. That's awfully convenient." And then you
There's
go
also
in the
like no land around.
And then your 6970 crashes because you don't have any screws to hold the heatsink to the die.
Yeah.
Good times, good times.
Yeah. But then you go to the lighthouse and you're like, whoa, there's a submarine at the bottom of this lighthouse. That's weird. Awfully convenient for me to crash land in an airplane and be the only survivor on this airplane. And then all of a sudden I find this lighthouse that I crash landed next to very conveniently. And then at the bottom of this lighthouse, there just happens to be a submarine.
We're going to spoil this game, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is your this is your one and only spoiler warning for a 15-year-old video game.
But it is a very good game, and if you don't want it spoiled, get off.
There's your warning. Go play it. Yeah, go play it and then come back if you have not for whatever reason. I mean, I can't really blame you because I didn't play BioShock until earlier this year too. But somehow I managed to not have it spoiled for me over 15 years, which I don't even know how I managed it, but
I wish that was me.
Yeah.
I picked up the BioShock trilogy like years ago at the recommendation of Max.
I remember that.
He was like, yeah,
like I played BioShock Infinite back when that came out in 2013, but I hadn't up till this year. I haven't played the original, and I still haven't played 2 yet, and I'm gonna do that very soon as well. But yeah, I really liked Infinite. I really liked Infinite back then, but for whatever reason, I was just like, yeah, I don't know if I feel like going back to the first game. But I had even having played BioShock Infinite, I had no idea what to expect from this game until I actually sat down and played it.
Yeah, they are very different games.
Yeah.
I haven't played Infinite, but I've seen a lot of it. And like there's like parallels. I wouldn't say similarities.
Yeah.
It's like an alternate timeline to the events of Rapture, but also somehow converges into the timeline that leads to Rapture, I think. Something like that. Somehow Elizabeth is in both plots, but also not in both plots.
Yeah. Is she just a little sister grown up?
I'm not sure.
Because because she she looks like a little sister almost. Like, it's something that's bothered me ever since I played BioShock 1 and saw, like, the little sisters. I was like, wait, is Elizabeth from Infinite just one of these girls grown up? So weird. Because they look similar. I don't know.
Elizabeth doesn't look terrifying, if you ask me.
Yeah, BioShock Remastered did not do any favors to the character models. The little sisters.
No.
They look like Sid from Toy Story.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Elizabeth, that could also be just an evolution of the art style also.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, my earliest memories of BioShock come from not even playing BioShock. It comes from Lucas and Max just randomly when we were working shifts together throughout the kitchen, just being like, ha 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 ha! Kill your cravings at the circus of value.
Exactly.
I had no idea where it was from, and then I finally played this game, and I was like, "Oh yeah!"
And was that a hard sell we had for you, Colin?
No, not at all.
Well, did you kill all of your cravings at the circus of value, at least?
I'd say so. I've very frequently did not have any cravings because on I played the game once at the beginning of the year to kind of give myself that first familiarity with it, and I just finished replaying it again, but I played through it on easy mode just to coast through and get the story again a second time. And so on easy mode, it's easy mode, so you don't frequently need resources at all. So I always had money. I was literally just walking around. Every time I needed to hack something, I was able to just buy it out the whole time.
So you're saying easy mode is easy?
Yeah, I think easy mode's kind of easy. Yeah,
That's good.
yeah, it helps.
When I was recording a playthrough for putting up on the YouTube archive, I played on easy mode and spent most of the game just picking off splicers with the starting pistol.
I decided also for this playthrough that I was going to do as much as I could just with plasmids alone, and specifically the incinerate one, because I noticed that his hand is always in the gesture of like he's snapping his finger, and that reminded me of Roy Mustang from Full Metal Alchemist. So I just walked through Rapture and just basically roleplayed as Roy Mustang as much as I could, just torching everything, and it was great.
Yep. Also became the king of the bees.
I was also king of the bees. That's probably my second favorite plasmid. We should probably describe the plasmids really quick.
Yeah.
So basically, in addition to guns, like you get a pistol and a machine gun and a shotgun and a grenade launcher and eventually a crossbow and some other things. You get like a chemical, like basically like a flamethrower, but it can like shoot different chemicals as well. So you can do like a freeze ray type thing. Plasmids, on the other hand, are basically like
genetic modification.
Yes. In universe, it's genetic modification. They're like magical powers. So you have one where you snap your fingers and whatever you're pointing at gets combusted.
Yeah.
And then the first one that you get is actually lightning, so you can just like Emperor Palpatine whatever's in front of you.
Wait, are you telling me you can't do that right now in real life?
You know, I've never actually tried.
Have you never checked to see if you have force powers just in real life now and then?
I mean, when I walk up, I mean, when I walk up to a door, sometimes, like at the grocery store, and I wave my hand at it, sometimes it opens.
Yeah, we have force powers.
Yeah.
Must be you have a lot of midichlorians.
The boy's midichlorian count is high. It's higher even than Master Yoda's.
There is a force power. There is a force power plasmid too. Did anybody use it?
You talking about telekinesis or sonic boom?
I didn't know sonic boom was a thing.
What?
Telekinesis. I mean, I didn't use it. I knew it was an option.
You just hold back for 60 frames and then press forward and punch.
Exactly.
Sonic boom. Guile sounds so bored when he does that in Street Fighter 6. Going back
unless you get a perfect.
Yeah.
Then he screams perfect.
But like his typical Sonic boom is just Sonic boom. Sonic boom.
Exactly.
Anyway, yeah, Sonic boom, I didn't use it that much, but it was one of the plasmids that I just had equipped because nothing else really interests me to take that slot. But it was kind of fun to use when you had a bunch of guys running up on you, you just send them flying backwards.
Yeah.
But yeah, Neal, you were referring to telekinesis though, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that one's fun. I beat a Splicer to death with her own mask using telekinesis.
Nice.
I ripped it off of her face and beat her to death with it. It was incredible.
It's fun catching grenades out of midair and throwing them back at the
Splicers.
Yes.
Yeah, that's actually how they... I mean, we've mentioned on the podcast before how much that we kind of really like it when a game will teach you about its gameplay mechanics through actual gameplay and stuff. So like an example being in A Link to the Past, where when you pick up the hook shot, there's immediately something in that room that you can attach the hook shot to and pull yourself across a chasm or something like that. BioShock does a lot of that as well. And one of the best examples of that is when you get the telekinesis plasmid, because you're basically closed off from an area that you need to get to, and the only way that you can get to it is to blow up the wall. Well, you don't have grenades at this point, but they do in that room. Once you get the telekinesis plasmid, they have a little guy up in the top balcony just chucking grenades down at you over and over and over again. And for some reason, I completely forgot that this was the section where I'm supposed to take that grenade and use it to blow a hole in the wall where I need to get through. So I just kept throwing the grenades back at the splicer, and then he would get replaced by another one, and I did this for like 2 minutes.
Well, you're a lot better than me because last time I played, I forgot that's what you had to do, so I ended up having to look up what I had to do at that point because I couldn't remember. So you're better than me.
Yeah, seriously, I think I killed like 8 or 9 of them before finally I was like, oh, this is the part where I blow up the wall.
Right.
It doesn't help that Atlas is trying to chime in on the radio, or at the same time, but you're also being pelted by grenades, so it's kind of hard to hear him over the explosions.
Yeah.
The other way they teach you the telekinesis is actually in the doctor's office.
Yeah, with the tennis balls.
Yeah.
Yeah, they like rigged up a little rocket launcher turret, but with tennis balls instead. Then you can chuck it around. And I didn't notice it because I wasn't really paying attention, but there's also stuff up in that room that you can take and pitch the tennis ball at and knock it down so that way you can collect it and stuff.
And the cool thing about this world that you're in is that all these places have stories. So the tennis racket set is just because Dr. Steinman that you kill is into tennis. So that's why that's there.
Dr. Steinman sure is a person.
Yeah. I enjoyed killing that guy. It was satisfying. Yeah. I set him on fire.
Yeah, same here. I feel like this game, like at times, is making you question: should I be doing this? And like, what's the morals here? But like, it's always very good at making you go, "Oh, this person is terrible."
And the answer is yes.
The answer is always yes.
Yeah. Part of Andrew Ryan's spiel that you hear on the recording on the way down to Rapture when you first crash land in the ocean includes the line where the scientist would not be bound by petty morality. So by design, they have no qualms about human experimentation and other dubiously moral things.
Under questionably ethical.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, like the little girls or little sisters, for example, are just random children they picked up off the street and implanted these strange sea slugs that were discovered down around the area of Rapture. And they collect Adam, which is some sort of life force material from bodies of the deceased.
Yeah.
And that is the fuel that allows splicers to splice new genes into themselves.
And it was also the catalyst that led to the inevitable downfall of Rapture. Yes. That's why everybody went crazy, was because they discovered Adam.
Yeah.
Speaking of the little sisters, did any of you, out of curiosity, pick the harvest option? Ever?
Yes.
You did?
No.
I did not. I couldn't do it. I rescued them all.
Everyone.
Yeah.
I am the parent of a singular child. I could not bring myself to sacrifice any of them.
Yeah. It, like, the crazy thing is, like, that right there, the little sisters are what kind of tie you to whatever ending you're gonna get, really. Mm-hmm. Because you either, whenever you're presented with a little sister, so the little sisters there's a set number of them in every level. They're accompanied by the Big Daddy, which is the big giant hulking brute that you see on the box art. It's like in a big diving suit. And they have a couple different variations. There's the Rosie that carries around a rifle of sorts and can sometimes chuck grenades at you. And then the Bouncer has the big drill arm and just tries to beat the living daylights out of you instead of shooting you. But the little sisters are what you collect Atom from for yourself, so that way you can upgrade your own plasmids and unlock additional slots, so that way you can equip more plasmids throughout the game. And whenever you encounter a little sister, first you have to kill the Big Daddy, otherwise you can't do anything. But then once the Big Daddy's out of the way, you have the option to either rescue or harvest the little sister. Rescuing them will give you some Atom, and the child lives. But harvesting them kills the child, but you get more Atom out of it at that point. But even if you only ever do the harvest option on just one, and you save every single other one in the game, you automatically get the bad ending. And I didn't want the bad ending. I wanted the good ending.
Yep.
So I saved all the children.
But would you have known that without metagaming?
I don't know. Probably not.
I mean, you'd want to try it at least once, right? See, like, well, what happens if I, just try it once?
I could.
Yeah. Like, I went
They were
into this
so
game
innocent.
spoiled and knew not to trust Alice, who was like, they're monsters, just kill them. So yeah, I might have harvested them. I don't know.
Yeah, I can't say that I played the game without having some prior knowledge, so I'm not really sure what I would have picked. I just knew that if you did save all of them, you actually got more Atom as opposed to harvesting.
Yeah, I actually watched the some of the director's commentary that I unlocked last night, and the producers of the game, the developers, were saying that when they talk to people, quite a bit more than half would say they didn't harvest, and that they also told a story that people that did, like guys, would be harvesting, and their wife or their girlfriend would walk in and be so upset that he would have to sleep on the couch that night.
Nice.
so
Wow,
yeah,
you killed a literal child.
yeah. Yeah, I think most people were not tempted to kill a little girl.
Yeah.
Honestly, before you even encounter the first little girl or little sister through, like, the cutscene when you first see one and watch a Splicer get murdered to death by a Big
Absolutely
Daddy.
wrecked.
Yeah, he gets deleted.
Yeah. Like, right when you go up the elevator, right before you get your first handgun, there's a female Splicer talking to what you assume is her baby in a stroller, and
Oh god, this.
Oh yeah.
yeah,
And then it's just
she's talking
gun.
to a handgun,
She's talking to a gun.
but
It's her baby.
After becoming a parent, just seeing that really kind of messed me up right at the beginning of the game. It's like, this place is a terrible, terrible place.
Yeah. Can we talk about Rapture as a place?
Yeah, like I like the way that they lean into the insanity of all of the splicers and stuff, though. Like I like that you can hear them when they're still like a room above you and stuff, and you hear them just randomly muttering to themselves. Or sometimes there's the random guy that's like, Jesus loves me, this I know. Oh, the Bible tells me so. And then you run into him and you murk him.
Yep.
He dead.
He
Yep.
did.
But Rapture as a place is amazing story, or an amazing video game location.
It is.
It's super unique.
It's basically like you take 1960s New York and then you just put it underwater.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
But it's also got all the problems of a world that is underwater.
Uh-huh.
Yep. Yeah.
Leaking pipes everywhere, whales crashing in. Not great.
But that
Tail sections
first...
of planes crashing through walkways.
Yeah. But that first shot that you get when you're going down the bathysphere for the first time, and you've got Andrew Ryan doing his little thing over the radio, and that when it first drops that curtain, and you see it as you're traveling through the exterior of Rapture for the first time, you get a big glimpse of the outside of the city. It's such a cool moment in gaming.
Yeah.
Like, they really outdid themselves with just that. Like, you talk about like moments in gaming that like really take your breath away, and that moment descending into Rapture for the first time is way up there on the list.
It's so
And you have a decent
picturesque.
amount of control too. It's not really a cutscene. Like, you can look around.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see, fighting McDonough's Tavern and a couple other locations that you make your way towards eventually. At least that's the one I remember seeing most in the
Looking at it here on your playthrough, Lucas, you can see a Big Daddy in one of the walkways going through connecting two buildings.
Yeah, because kind of in addition to being the guardians of the Little Sisters, they're also kind of Rapture's like maintenance workforce.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I love the ads that are everywhere.
Yeah.
It just feels like a lived-in world. It's crazy.
It does.
Yep.
And like, one thing that they do really, really well to also sell the underwaterness of it all is just whenever you are at a point where you can look out through a window and you can see like fish and stuff swimming around, and sometimes there will be a starfish stuck to the window and stuff, and just like little stuff like that that really sells it so well.
Yeah. Some really tough glass though. Keep smacking it with a wrench and it won't break.
Yeah, I think that's just because water couldn't come in because of technological limitations with the game design.
Could you imagine if they made the game today though, and like you could actually break the glass and then just commit suicide? What a way to go. That would actually be really cool though, and it would add another layer of strategicness to the combat as well, because like one too many stray bullets and suddenly you're done.
Yeah.
Weapons are cool, speaking of bullets.
Yeah. Honestly, that's the starting handgun is very useful for most of it. Especially because you can aim down the sights for even more accurate shots, and the playthrough that I did for YouTube kind of also served as a test bench for my new keyboard and mouse. And the Logitech G502X has a like momentary DPI switch. So you press it down, it temporarily drops your DPI down to 800.
Nice.
I think I have mine set at 2400 or 3200 by default, but it's basically a sniper button.
Yeah, I think I got something similar to that on the Razer Death Adder. It's also got a couple DPI buttons. But yeah, it's really useful for fine-tuning your aim and stuff like that in a shooter game.
Yeah.
For sure. But yeah, the pistol in this game, like, shout outs to first-person shooters that have good pistols.
Yeah.
Like Halo 1.
Yep.
BioShock.
Yep.
It's like, I think my first playthrough, because that was just more, I wasn't doing any kind of gimmicky things with the first playthrough because it was my first time through the game, so I played it just normally. I wasn't trying to do anything. So, but 90% of the game I played through with just the pistol, basically. And every now and then, if I needed a little bit extra kick, I would switch to a shotgun or the machine gun. But 90% of the time I had a gun out, it was the pistol. Because it's just so... It's really useful, like you said. It's really good.
I don't know about you guys, but I never touched the chemical thrower.
Yeah. Same here.
The only time I ever used it was when I was quick tapping through my weapons, and that was just the one that came up. And instead of bringing up the weapon reel to actually pick something, it's like, oh, next in line, chemical thrower. Okay, flamethrower. I don't know why I'm using a flamethrower when I have a flamethrower on my wrist.
Yeah, I love playing in TF2, but I never touched the chemical.
Yeah. I mean was it nitrogen oxide or something like that? Whichever one that the freeze ray.
Yeah.
Liquid nitrogen. Yeah, like the freeze ray. It's a little bit more useful in the flamethrower, but also not, because whenever you shatter a frozen enemy, you can't pick up any loot from them anymore.
Yeah.
So the chemical thrower is definitely the weakest weapon in the game. Not necessarily from a power standpoint, but more so just from an overall usefulness. Because you've also got plasmids that do those exact same things.
Yeah.
Right.
Granted, I did notice in this playthrough, with the incinerate plasmid, you can't just keep firing it at an enemy and expect it to do more damage each time it hits. It only damages it the one time until it completely phases off, and then you can do it again.
Huh.
Yeah. I ended up...
which made it less useful for boss fights. So when I got to the final boss fight, I was just like, okay, I'm just going to use guns.
Yeah.
Yeah. A damage upgraded shotgun with exploding shells is
yeah.
Really good.
Shotgun was my crutch.
Yeah. It's a good way of dispatching Big Daddies of all flavors. Same thing with I don't even think the upgraded grenade launcher, just regular frag grenades with it, was
even just the pistol with the anti-armor rounds will shred a Big Daddy.
Yep. Especially once you get some of the upgrades.
Yeah.
I mostly switched between the machine gun and the pistol and the shotgun.
And then once I got the bolt gun, that kind of became primary.
I didn't touch that one at all.
Me either.
It does good damage. And it's excellent for sniping. So.
Yeah, okay, fair. Because I was playing on the Switch with Joy-Cons, so I didn't have the greatest aiming. And also, I'm bad at first-person shooters.
I want to say it's maybe 3 or 4 incendiary bolts with a damage-boosted crossbow will be enough to end one of the rounds against Atlas.
I think the crossbow is the only weapon I didn't upgrade, because I didn't find enough for that last weapon.
Yeah. In my playthrough for YouTube, I found, I think, all but one of the power to the people upgrade stations. Because, I think I was one upgrade short of having every weapon fully upgraded.
Dang.
Yeah, I had, literally every weapon but the crossbow for me was fully upgraded. I just couldn't find those last 2 in the game.
Why would you upgrade the chemical thrower first?
Because I still used it more than I used the crossbow in that playthrough.
Weird flex, but okay.
It was next up on the list. After I got the ones I prioritized, like the shotgun and the pistol upgraded, I just went straight down the list.
Yeah.
And the chemical thrower came up before the crossbow.
Yeah. I like how they go from regular looking firearms to very 50s, 60s sci-fi future-looking weapons.
Yeah. It's really cool how every time you upgrade them, it looks like you're actually physically like bolting stuff onto them and changing their appearance.
Like the expanded magazine for the handgun makes it almost look like it's got it's like the magazine for like a 20mm auto gun used on like Kamikaze Zero fighter. Like snail-shaped drum that snaps into the side of it. Faster reloads were a definite must for the shotgun.
Oh yeah. I do like that. I do like
it's
that.
no Doom Super.
Yeah. I do like that it is still at least one of those shotguns that you can fire as you're reloading it.
Yeah.
So you don't have to wait for the entire thing to be reloaded. You can just load one shell in and then shoot if you have to in a pinch.
Yeah.
Kind of like the Halo shotgun.
Man's best friend come the library.
Oh yeah. We gotta do Halo sometime.
Yes.
It's a good game.
Yeah.
BioShock's a good game.
It is. How about them splicers though?
I hate the spiders.
Spider slicer.
Yeah.
They're so annoying.
Yeah.
Wait, spiders?
Spider
Spiders
slicer.
they're annoying, but not as bad as a certain other one.
Ah, yes.
Oh yeah, the Houdini. Yeah.
Now you
I
see
found they die very easily if you can actually nail them with an incinerate.
Yes.
Because they still take the fire damage when they're poofing away.
True. Yeah. I did find that by the end of the game.
I didn't. Yeah, so I didn't struggle so bad with the Houdinis on the second playthrough. I mean, also I was playing on easy, but they're still annoying no matter what difficulty you're playing on because they're everywhere.
Yep.
They're everywhere and nowhere all at the same time.
They're where you least expect them.
Yeah.
Yep.
But the first one you encounter though, when you're walking in, it's in Arcadia, I believe. Arcadia is the very green biome.
Yep.
And you walk into this building, and you just see this guy, and he's calling for your help. He's like, "Hey, can you come over here? Can you help me?" And every time you get close to him, he just runs further into the house. And then eventually you find your way to this like horrifying looking mask. And then you turn around, he's right there in your face. It's like, boo!
Okay. When I
turns out the mini splicers are part of a cult that drink chlorophyll solution.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
When I did that scene, there was like a flash of light and his shadow appeared on the wall in front of me. And then I turned around. It was terrifying.
Yeah. It's like one of the games with like really big gotcha moments that really kind of plays into the pseudo horror type tension that they were going for.
Oh yeah.
Like I struggle to classify this game as a horror game, but it's definitely got the influence.
Yeah, it's a blend of genres.
Yeah.
It's also got RPG elements going on.
Yeah.
And at the time this game was released, that was kind of revolutionary.
To an extent.
It almost kind of feels like the last hurrah to like the classic long form campaign FPSs like Unreal or the original Quake.
Yeah.
It's like this is kind of where Call of Duty as a like multiplayer shooter kind of took off and started.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, this was like right in between Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare 2 when it released. Actually, I think it released the same year as Modern Warfare 1.
2007.
Yeah.
Release.
That was 2007 was stacked. So many good releases that year. Surprise, BioShock was one of them.
7 years, sevens were good years in games. 17 was really good, and 97 was really good. Something about
7. Well, I guess back to the spider splicers is like what's really annoying about them is like just how they crawl on the ceilings.
Yeah, they're
Mhm.
definitely the most body horror of the splicers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were you shooting up to be able to make you crawl along the ceiling like that?
Right. They throw these like little sickles at you all the time.
Yeah.
You're almost like Reagan from The Exorcist when she's like crawling down the stairs, fully bridged.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, that's perfectly describing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. Well, Spider Splicer is one of the first splicers you encounter. Drops from the ceiling and kills that one guy that was coming to the bathysphere to assist you before Atlas started
That's
giving
true.
Yeah.
before he tells you to go find a crowbar or something in a subtle nod to Half-Life. But once you get to Fontaine Fisheries, then there's a man with a few screws loose named Peach Wilkins that asks you to take some pictures of the spider splicers. Which is probably the most underutilized weapon in this game's loadout is the camera.
Weapon, quote unquote.
I mean, it's on your weapon wheel. You have to select it.
It has
I
an
mean-
ammo.
Yeah.
Film is an
does.
ammunition.
Yep.
You have to pick up more film every time you take pictures.
And if you research the Splicers and also, I believe, the Little Sisters and Big Daddies enough, then you get plasmids as rewards.
Yeah, the Little Sisters, you get a boost to your max health and Eve. The Splicers,
First aid kits.
yeah, the Houdini Splicer, you get the plasmid that if you stand still, you turn invisible.
Yeah.
Um,
Probably the most useful of the bunch.
I actually did a lot of. I actually made it a point to like really do the research stuff in this playthrough. Like basically, what I was doing whenever I got into an encounter was whip out the camera, snap a shot, and then go straight to my incinerate and snap a finger,
Yeah.
set stuff on fire. So I maxed out most of the research on the splicers, and I also maxed out the Big Daddies and the Little Sisters as well. So I unlocked quite a few of the achievements in this playthrough.
Nice.
That's what was also nice about it, because I didn't really bother with it before, so it was like I had a visible representation that I had all of the research that I needed for each enemy, because it would just pop up. It's like, hey, you did all of them. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I also made sure that I found every single Little Sister in the game this time around, because I didn't in my first playthrough. I think I missed like 2.
Yeah.
A couple of them toward the end are kind of annoying to find.
Yeah.
It's like when you're going around trying to get all the Big Daddy suit pieces for yourself,
Yeah.
and then in that
Also,
area.
Just kind of tedious, because like you just kind of got to wait for a Big Daddy to show up and then slowly follow it as it like takes its time, like finding a vent for a Little Sister to crawl out of. In one of my playthroughs, I had it where like I found a Big Daddy and it was right near one of the vents that the Little Sisters will crawl out of, and it completely ignored it and instead walked like halfway across the map to find a vent. So,
Nice.
pathfinding there.
Maybe that one was designed specifically to go toward that vent,
That could be.
and you weren't supposed to see it until it actually got there, but you ran into it earlier than expected.
Yeah.
Because I did notice that a lot of the NPCs in the game really do act on their own agency a lot, like even when you're not even anywhere near them.
Yeah.
Like, not just like, obviously you can still kind of hear NPCs in rooms above you and stuff, and they have their own little things that they do, but like I wouldn't be surprised also if it was just like basically the entire biome area that you're in, if everything is already moving independently and not just waiting for the player to come within a certain threshold of it. It at least gave off that impression that everything, like the game does a really good job of making it seem like it's all working independently of itself and not just waiting for the player to come within a certain distance for everything to kind of spawn in around them.
Yeah. Yeah, like when you get to Fort Frolic and your first encounter Sander Cohen, sort of. He's in the theater and you come up to the piano man. You can hear him just like tormenting the guy, whether or not you just stand there and listen, and he'll berate Kyle Fitzpatrick over and over again until you get. And then if you get too close, then he blows him up. Unless you're Colin, and then
As soon as I walked in the room, I was just like, torched him.
yep, which led to a fun interaction with Sander.
And then Senator Cohen, and then Senator Cohen's like, "Huh, I was expecting you to last a little bit longer than that," or something to that effect. But he remarked on how quickly you just killed the guy. It's like, now take his picture, and then you get to help Senator Cohen complete his masterpiece, if you could call it that.
That's what they call it.
Yeah.
It's got these 4 people frozen on this stage in like some kind of plaster type material. They're all frozen in it and standing atop each other, holding onto these 4 picture frames. And you have to go around this area and find these 4 people that Sander Cohen is pissed off at and kill them and take photos of their dead bodies to place in those picture frames. And the first one was that guy playing the piano that I just unceremoniously torched the second I got in the room.
He's a very interesting fellow, Sander.
He is. I killed him in the first playthrough because I didn't know that there was a reward for not killing him there and then.
I didn't either. If you happen to spare him in Fort Frolic, he'll reappear later in his apartment when you get to Olympus Heights. And
then you kill him.
Yeah.
But first, you had to interrupt the people dancing in the room.
Yeah.
Because there's 2 splicers that are just sitting there dancing in the living room. And how was your interaction with them?
Let's see.
Because you have to kill him to get Cohen to come out of his room.
Yeah. I came in, saw them dancing, heard Cohen give his little spiel about the dancers, and then proceeded to go loot his apartment and accidentally bumped into one of them, which caused them to start attacking me.
Nice.
Quit leaving all your booze out, and maybe I won't ransack your apartment.
There's so much booze.
So
it's a lot of acid, which explains a lot of his mannerisms.
I just kind of watched them dancing after he said his spiel and said, don't ruin their rhythm. I was like, all right, I won't. And so I was looking around by them, and there's this box of electric buck sitting there. And I was like, okay, this is a video game. I'll pick that up. Yep. I didn't realize it was supporting the vinyl record player.
Oh, you knocked over the record player?
Yeah.
I think that's how I triggered him too.
I almost did, and I was like, oh no, I noticed it was supporting the record player, so I'm not gonna touch that. Instead, what I did is I noticed there was a piano there, and there was a button prompt to interact with the piano. So I was like, wonder what happens if I play the piano. Well, they got all pissed off at me. I screwed up the song, and they got pissed off at me, and they started shooting at me, so I had to kill him. And then Colin came down, and I made him a crispy body by the door.
Yep. Real fun. He comes down, and he says, I'm Sander effing Cohen.
Yeah.
And then you get his key, and then you get to unlock the other locked case back in Fort Frolic in the theater. And I love that like it doesn't really have anything of relative importance in it at all. It's just a couple throwaway items and some money. But the sum of the money is what's important, especially knowing Sander Cohen and who he is as a character. Because he had exactly $69 in that chest.
Okay, so weird thing for me, he had $70 in there.
What?
Yeah.
Lame.
Damn you,
I don't know.
Nintendo!
I couldn't even pick it up either.
I wonder if it was a Nintendo influence.
That would be interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, it was
I mean,
exactly
it's like
$69, and I just bust out laughing because I just laughed. I was like, this is funny. It's like, of course it'd be 69.
A few other members of the colorful cast of characters probably touch on. Already mentioned Atlas, who is your unreliable narrator, so to speak.
Yeah.
They have the two doctors responsible for the discovery of Adam and the building of plasmids and all of that fun stuff. Dr. Bridget Tannenbaum, who kind of is the surrogate mother to all of the little sisters. And then Dr. Yi Shuchong, who is the one responsible for coming up with all of the fun genetic modifications available throughout the game. And then lastly, there's the big Walt Disney of the place himself, Andrew Ryan.
Yeah.
Dr. Tannenbaum seems to have had a crisis of faith at some point and really does not like that everyone is using these little girls just as a source of Adam, and kind of has a change of heart on the scientific research she's done. Unfortunately for her, no one else feels the same way until Jack comes along and starts using the plasmid she tosses you during the encounter in the medical pavilion to start saving them.
Unless you don't.
Yes. In
Yeah.
which case, she will make you feel bad about your decisions later on in the game.
Yeah.
And they only get worse the more you harvest them. So then Dr. Suchong is a person. He is very much the doctor of questionable morality that Andrew Ryan is referring to in the opening or sequence.
Yeah. Well, Steinman too, but
Well, yeah. I think Dr. Shuchong's crimes are a bit heavier, though, than just some botched plastic surgeries.
fair enough.
Well, there's also the doctor in the botanical farm
Yes.
who Andrew Ryan gets very upset with and
Oh yes.
swiftly suffocates her with a very poisonous gas.
Yep. R.I.P. Dr. Langford.
Yeah, Langford, that was her name.
Yeah. Not only does he pump her office full of neurotoxin of some sort, but he also turns off the oxygen to Arcadia in general to try and just kill you.
Yep.
Then,
Doesn't work.
Yeah, because Dr. Langford just so happens to leave you the keys to her research project, the Lazarus Vector, which lets you more or less reverse death. So you go and construct that. You find that insects swarm plasmid along the way.
Bees!
And then you resurrect all of the deceased trees and have breathable oxygen for all of Rapture again.
And then you march out proudly as the king of the bees.
Yep.
King
I'm
of the
king of the
bees.
bees.
Yeah. Yeah. Dr. Shuchong is responsible for all of the mental conditioning and that was applied to you by a Mr. Frank Fontaine, who is a person of, I safely could say, no morals. He is,
Yeah.
It's,
Kind of the very definition of a only in it for myself type.
yeah.
Yeah.
This is the proprietor of Fontaine Fisheries, but also a company called Fontaine Futuristics, which made plasmids. And being a person of dubious nature, is using this industry, Fontaine Futuristics, to build up an army of splicers to revolt against Andrew Ryan, just because he wanted control of Rapture.
A lot of good that did, because everybody just went crazy.
Yep. Everyone went 20,000 leagues off the deep end.
Basically.
So, Andrew Ryan had a little bit of a fling with one of the dancers in one of the clubs in Fort Frolic, and she ended up getting pregnant out of it. And that's Jack.
Yeah.
Dr. Tenenbaum and Dr. Shuchong were sort of parents of you in this revolution against Andrew Ryan. And they sent you off to live in the surface for whenever the time was right, and then
Sent you right back.
Yep.
They also implanted you with false memories of a family you never had.
Yep. Also, because while we're going trigger happy with the genetic manipulations, Jack is actually unreasonably young. It just had very sped up growth because of all of the genetic modifications. Yeah. Part of that mental conditioning includes the wonderful phrase, "Would you kindly?"
Uh-huh.
And
The twist.
Yes. Through those magic words, Atlas has been manipulating you this whole time.
It's so well done how they pull that
Yeah.
off with the revelation of it all. Because it's so subtle, like you don't even realize he's saying it as much as he does.
Yeah.
And then they're like, by the way, I've been saying this the whole time and you've been just doing whatever I ask because of it. And then it flashes back to a bunch of the times where he said it throughout the game. And you're just like, what?
Yeah.
Seriously?
With the biggest final drop being, "Would you kindly kill Andrew Ryan?"
Yeah.
And then, naturally, that's what you go do. It's not the only thing that Atlas had a voice command installed for, because after you kill Andrew Ryan, after Andrew Ryan tells you to kill him, I should say.
A man chooses, a slave obeys.
Dr. Tenenbaum kindly undoes that manipulation.
Not without some really fun side effects.
Yep.
Yeah.
You start tripping pretty hard with your plasmids.
Yep. Because Frank Fontaine has an ace up his sleeve called Code Yellow, which is a mental conditioning that is telling your heart to stop functioning. But Dr. Shuchong has a in case of emergency solution for that called Lot 192. And the first dose very much scrambles your genetic code and your plasmids start going all out of whack.
Yeah, and basically all of your plasmids are on like it's either a minute or a minute and a half kind of timer rotation where you do not get to pick your plasmids. They pick themselves for you, and you never know what you're going to get. So you can get a super useful one like Incinerate or Electric Shock, or you get stuck with like the security decoy one and that are less useful and more situational. And then sometimes you just get bees.
Yeah. It was weird because like I was getting ones that I didn't even buy, which totally threw me off.
Yeah, like it basically pulls from a pool of all the plasmids in the game at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And some of them aren't great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Getting stuck with security or dart or hypnotize Big Daddy when there's no Big Daddies around.
Uh-huh.
Just don't
Yeah.
have a plasmid, essentially.
Yep.
Yeah, this was where, when it rotated around to telekinesis for me, this is where I killed that splicer with their own mask.
Understandable.
That
was
is one critique I have to put against Infinite. I felt like the plasmids were much better in 1 and 2 because they had more utility as opposed to just being, this does damage and this is a stun. So if you go
Yeah.
through the list in Infinite, they all kind of fulfill the same roles, albeit like just with different flavors.
Yeah.
That explains why I don't remember the plasmids in Infinite really at all. Aside from, I mean, it could also be related to the fact that I haven't played the game in 10 years, but also, like, the plasmids in BioShock are just really memorable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's bees!
Bees.
Does the Infinite have the little ads like BioShock 1 does?
I imagine it probably does. Just maybe like a slightly different flavor because Columbia is like a little bit, it's a lot different
okay.
from Rapture. This is called Columbia, right?
Yes.
That sounds
I
right.
believe
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
I think I'm going to play Infinite again soon. It's been a long time.
Yeah, I'm probably going to play it on my own time. I do want to jump in here quick while Lucas is doing the rundown of the story. When I got to Ryan's office, that's, let's see, right after Hephaestus.
Yep.
And I was very wary of Atlas the entire game because I knew part of the twist. And I was like, do I want to kill Andrew Ryan? Will there be a way to not? I feel bad about killing this guy because I know Atlas is untrustworthy. And then I go into Ryan's office and see the crucifixions.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, yeah, I'm killing this guy.
Yeah.
I completely missed that detail.
Yeah. It's got people who were part of the revolt just crucified in the
Yeah. You can
What-
actually search them, and one of them has a little note.
Yeah.
Oh!
Yep.
Oh, that's what you're talking about. Okay. I
One of them
thought
is,
you were talking about literally office when you are face to face with him.
No, like when you're in his office
Okay.
the first
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Or is
now.
that
Yeah.
Hephaestus? I don't know. One of the parts.
it's like in the little Zen garden
It's-
area in front of the circuit breaker.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like
okay,
right
so-
outside his office, and that sets off
Right.
that you had to find a way to turn off the circuit breaker so that way you can get his office door open.
Yeah.
One of those is Bill McDonough, who I previously had mentioned as owning a tavern, and
Yes.
medical pavilion. You find a couple of tape logs from him, mostly talking about how, like, he's not thrilled about the construction quality of places in Rapture, notably the
Yes.
freezing pipes bursting.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's there because he loves the city and has kind of fallen out of love with Ryan's style of leadership in the city.
It is really interesting how through all the tape audio logs that are scattered throughout the city, like how you gradually piece together everything that kind of happened down there and people's
Yeah.
frustrations with everything, even though it was supposed to be a utopia for everybody, and it ended up being very clearly not that.
Yeah. How they tie this whole thing together with like various bits and pieces throughout, and you just I don't know, it's a masterclass of storytelling, the way they put this all together.
Yeah.
Have all these different times in Rapture's history that you're hearing from, but you kind of get an idea just from looking at the environment you're in and knowing the names.
Yeah,
You can always
there's
go back into the menu and check like your old messages if you want to, which can prove useful gameplay wise with like key codes and stuff. But
yeah, and like typically I hate it when a game leans heavily on like picking up objects in the world to get your lore dumps and stuff. But BioShock does it in a way that's not intrusive to the overall flow of gameplay, which is a huge benefit to it. Because typically like Destiny 1 was really guilty of this, where you had a very bare bones story like on the front end, and then a lot of the backstory and lore, all of the factions and what the world is like and all that is found through items that you pick up in the world and stuff that you read on a completely separate website outside of the game and stuff. And it's like,
That's immersion breaking.
yeah, it's like I just don't care at that point. It's like I don't
Right.
want to like the way that the audio logs work in this game is you pick it up and you can listen to it as you're continuing on what you're doing in the game. It doesn't break up your flow of gameplay like something like that does.
And not only that, but like the way it's triggered, you don't have to play it as soon as you pick it up. You
Yeah.
can hold that button whenever you
Yep.
want. So like,
One thing
if
I
you're
will
in the
say,
middle of a battle, you can wait.
One thing I will say that did frustrate me about the system, though, is that the button that you hold in order to play the audio tapes was also the interaction, the confirm button.
I did have that
And
issue too.
like, so when you're going through picking a bunch of junk up and then you pick up an audio tape and you sit there, you try to hold A to play, and all of a sudden you're picking up another item that's kind of right next to it, and just like if there's anything even relatively close to where you're facing when you try to play that audio log, it doesn't want to play. And that was a little bit frustrating. I feel like they could have mapped that to a different button. But
yeah,
still like the overall implementation of the audio logs in the game was absolutely great.
They mapped it to the D key on the PC version, so
But like the way that the game uses that, and just overall the environmental storytelling throughout the game as well. Like one of the director commentary videos from the remastered version of the game that I watched, they were talking about how they were kind of setting up some of the environments and stuff like that, and how just one day they came into work and a couple of the guys on the team had basically made up backstories for all of the frozen NPCs all throughout Fort Frolic.
Yes, I heard this one
And
too.
yeah, and that was like really cool. So like you'll notice that they are all, every single one of them, the area surrounding them has little pieces and clues to kind of give you an idea of what they were doing at the time that they were frozen there. My favorite's the guy that's on the toilet. It's funny. You walk in there and the guy's just like just frozen there on the crapper.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good one.
What a way to go. What a way to go.
Elvis Presley.
Surprised there wasn't someone frozen to the pole at the strip club.
Missed opportunity. But before we kind of wrap up the game talk, there is one big thing we have to do, and it's the final boss showdown against Atlas/Fontaine. What did you guys think of the final boss fight? I'll ask you guys first.
It was very average.
It went by too fast.
That's kind of what I thought. It's a very, very basic fight.
I honestly didn't like it because the whole game you're like able to like do all these cool things with plasmids, whatever, and like kind of like just use all of your abilities to their fullest extent. And then the fight with Atlas was like shoot him and then run away, and then shoot him and then run away, and like you weren't really able to use like the environment or your plasmids or really anything to help you or make it any really that interesting. So I was kind of let down by that.
Yeah, that's kind of like the issue that I had with it too. Like, it didn't feel like it really took advantage of everything that the game was and everything that you had learned about the game up until that point. It was literally just shoot the boss, go up and do the contextual thing, rinse and repeat until he dies.
Yeah.
I thought the Big Daddy trials in the Proving Grounds were more enjoyable as like a final area than.
I can second that for sure.
Yeah, I loved the process of becoming a Big Daddy. That was really fun. Just slowly, gradually picking up all the pieces until you're there.
Yeah.
I wish I had picked up the helmet last.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot in this playthrough how much the helmet limits visibility. I almost got it. I almost got it last. The only thing I still had to pick up after that was the boots, because for some reason I walked around them like 4 times. I was also trying to hunt down the last couple little sisters while I was in that area too. So I wasn't like completely focused on picking up all the pieces entirely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right.
Going back to the boss fight, I kind of feel like the actual climax of this game is killing Andrew Ryan and getting the twist and finding that twist, and it feels like everything else is just like falling action. So like Fontaine's boss is just sort of like, oh well, this is the last little bit of resolution. We have to kill this guy, but like the main thing already happened. But it's the only main thing that's playable as an ending.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, it was a very unrewarding boss fight because really you just snap your fingers, set him on fire, and then peg him in the head a few times with some incendiary bolts from the crossbow. And
yeah.
And he dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say though, the scene of all the little sisters jumping on the guy and stabbing him with all their needles, though, that was a very satisfying sight.
Oh, that was very satisfying and well deserved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wish the actual fight was a little more.
Yeah.
Was a little better.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard to really design an engaging boss fight in a shooter, because a lot of like, what do you do when, like, what do you do? You're shooting guns basically. But they could have designed the fight in a way that took more advantage of the other mechanics that they did go through all the trouble to like include and teach you how to use and stuff. Like, it would have been fun if there was a section that emphasized the telekinesis plasmid.
Right. Like
I guess it's better than just being a cutscene, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was what I didn't like about the Andrew Ryan thing. Going back to that, is like, it was kind of a little bit disappointing that they took away the control from the player during that scene. I know why they did it, because from a narrative standpoint, that's kind of representing the fact that you are unable to make that choice for yourself, whether or not you obey that command.
Right.
But it was just kind of like, you're throughout this entire portion of the game up to that point, you're like, man, we're going to really bring it to this guy. We're going to freaking, like, I'm going to roast his ass or something. And then you get up there and you just watch a scene of you involuntarily swinging a golf club at him until it very unrealistically dislodges in the side of his skull.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how that worked. Like, the top of the club literally snaps off and then just impales his brain, but the way you're swinging the club at him does not lend it to that kind of like
Yeah.
motion.
Yeah.
Magic.
Clearly.
It's all that genetic conditioning from Dr. Shu Chong.
It was a very, very quick telekinesis that's like split second telekinesis. It's like as soon as that thing snapped and you saw it snap, you're like telekinesis, grab it and stab it into his brain or something. I don't know. Like just
Right.
it just did not make sense to me how that worked.
No.
Great job, laddie. Grab the keys. Let's get out of here. Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Y'all gonna die.
Yeah.
Or are you?
Well, I appreciate you guys having me on the podcast. I got to take off.
All right.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us. That was fun. So
Yeah,
we'll
for
have
sure.
you on again soon.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Peace out.
Yeah.
See ya.
Peace.
See.
All right. So let's take that also as our cue to kind of wrap things up here and move along to our link to the past. Any closing thoughts on the shock of bios? It's a good game.
Would you kindly play it?
Hold on,
Absolutely.
What's I
What?
gonna say? I had something that I was going to say as my closing thoughts, and I can't remember what it was.
You kindly remember.
Oh, I know it. I know what it is. Okay. So I do have one last thought, and I found out what Jack actually looks like. Do you know what he's wearing during the whole
Looks
game?
like he's wearing like a sweater.
He is wearing an ugly sweater.
Yep.
Like a Christmas ugly sweater.
Yeah.
Not like Christmas style, but it's like
Yeah.
that kind of sweater.
Nice.
It's appalling.
Yep.
I do think it's like really
Oops.
funny that like for the majority of I did not anticipate playing through the majority like I said at the beginning of this, going into the game, I didn't really know what to expect out of it. I was not expecting to just be playing as regular guy for the majority of the game. Like I thought the Big Daddy armor was going to play a much bigger role in like a player sense, not just like the Big Daddies rolling out and strolling around and protecting the little sisters. Like I thought you were actually going to have that armor for more of the game than you did.
Right. Well, in
So,
BioShock
it's like
2,
when-
you play as one.
So like for the majority of the game, when you're just like regular guy in a sweater that can also shoot laser beams from his fist, it was just a little weird, but I was like, oh, okay. Another thing I really like about the game, it kind of, Lucas mentioned earlier about it kind of being one last hurrah for like the like single player narrative focused like first person shooters and stuff, but the movement speed in this game for your player character is phenomenal. I love how quickly you can move in this game. It just has a lot of that classic first person shooter feel to it.
9 out of 10 like the sport boost plasmid, right?
I thought it was a little too slow, but I guess that's...
What?
Yeah.
Shut up, Sonic fan.
I know, that's what I was thinking.
But no,
Mach 1.
No, like the modern first person shooter, like
Is slower
movement
than
speed
this.
is so slow, and they all have that sprint mechanic to make up for it.
Okay.
Like,
yeah.
Like that's why you saw such a big rise in like the sprint mechanic and stuff, is because they slowed down the movement speed so much.
Mm-hmm.
Classic Halo used to move not quite this fast. Like this to me is like Doom fast movement speed wise.
Yeah.
Halo was a little bit slower, but still quicker overall than Call of Duty until Call of Duty blew up, and then they slowed Halo down to integrate a sprint as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I really like the like quick fluid kind of movement speed that they had in there. It made it much more fun to kind of traverse through Rapture that way. But anyway, let's move on out of Rapture. And would you kindly join us as we discuss this week's Link to the Past? Because it's not a game this week, but rather something that plays games. Because 22 years ago today, the date of recording, which is June 11th of 2023, the Game Boy Advance debuted.
I feel old.
Yeah. I still remember when I first saw the Game Boy Advance and was just absolutely blown away because it was just Super Nintendo graphics in your hand. Like,
It's a
Yeah.
32 ARM or 32-bit ARM based system.
Yeah, it was better than
So it's
SNES.
SNES plus.
Yeah.
I will read you the specs. A 32-bit ARM CPU with embedded memory, which was 32 kilobytes plus 96 kilobytes of VRAM in the CPU, 256 kilobytes of WRAM outside the CPU, a diagonal reflective TFT color LCD panel for the screen, whatever that means, a resolution of 240 by 160 pixels, can display 511 simultaneous colors in character mode and 32,768 simultaneous colors in bitmap mode. That's an oddly specific number. And it's fully compatible with Game Boy and Game Boy Color game packs, as well as playing its own Game Boy Advance games. Had an approximate battery life of about 15 hours running on 2 AA batteries, and with batteries in it, it clocked in at roughly 5 ounces of weight. All of this is according to the GameFAQs.GameSpot GBA breakdown for their this day in gaming type thing.
They mentioned backwards compatibility with the Game Boy and Game Boy Color, and that is because of hardware level backwards compatibility, because there is more or less a integrated Game Boy Color SoC along with the Game Boy Advanced SoC, if I remember correctly. Because it's an architectural change from the Game Boy Color to the Game Boy Advance. They moved away from the Zilog Z80 based CPU that they used in previous Game Boy models and switched to an ARM based one. And then part of the reason why Game Boy Color and older Game Boy games weren't playable on the DS, because it only had the ARM CPU for GBA compatibility.
Was the SP able to play regular Game Boy games?
Yep.
Huh.
Micro was not able, though.
Okay.
But the Game Boy Micro released so late into the GBA's lifespan that...
Nobody cared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was their backup plan if the DS failed. It's more what the Game Boy Micro was.
And guess what didn't fail?
Yeah.
My one wish for the original Game Boy Advance, though, was that it should have been backlit from the start.
It absolutely
Yes.
should have been.
Yep. Yep.
You can really see it on early titles for the Game Boy Advance if you're playing on like one of the first model SPs or the second model with the even brighter backlight. Some of the game graphics look very washed out because they reduce the saturation of the colors in order to make them appear brighter on the non-backlit screen of the original Game Boy Advance. Like, if you look at Super Mario Advance 2 Super Mario World versus Super Mario World on the SNES, it's very faded looking.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how many games did this, but fun fact, Sonic Advance 3 had a menu somewhere, I forget exactly where it was, but you could go in and switch between different color profiles so that it could be better for a SP or better for a Game Boy Advance.
Interesting.
Smart thing.
Yeah. But the Sonic Advance 3 came out very late in the life cycle of the Game Boy.
As far as the different Game Boy Advance models go, even with my nitpick about the backlight. I still think the original Game Boy Advance is my preferred Game Boy Advance. I like the wider Game Boy Advance instead of the more Game Boy profile like the SP had.
Yeah, I
It's
have too much
definitely more
nostalgia for
comfortable
my
to hold
SP.
on to,
Yeah,
even from somebody with smaller hands like me. Like trying to play Metroid Fusion on a Game Boy Advance SP was not a great experience.
yeah. Honestly, I haven't played it like for a full game because it broke before I got bigger hands.
We still gotta fix that thing.
Yeah.
Are we fixing my SP? I forgot about that.
That's a thing we can do.
Yeah, we should probably do that sometime.
Yeah.
And I can use it and not have the only game that I know how to play is Sonic Advance 2 because I just know how to play that via the sound cues.
Also, fun fact about the Game Boy Advance in general is that if you have a GBA link cable for your GameCube, you can use it as the controller for the Game Boy player.
Yeah, you can. You can also use a Game Boy player on another GameCube with a Game Boy Advance as a controller. That's the controller. Wait,
I've done that.
yeah. There's a whole bunch of crazy, just eldritch horror stuff you can do with that thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, happy birthday to the Game Boy Advance. 22 years. That's just, oh my god. Anyway,
Almost was our friend Griffin.
it's so old. But that's going to bring us to the end of episode 28. So, Lucas, where can they find you outside the podcast? In the trees.
Would you kindly visit my link tree? It's a linktr.ee/karn_evil_999. It's got all the links you could want relevant to me. Twitter, YouTube, a link to the podcast that you should listen to. That's, again, linktr.ee/karn_evil_999.
The Legend of Lucas, A Link to the Trees.
Don't
Haha.
delay. Subscribe and follow today.
Haha. Neal, what about you?
I'm also working on a link tree, but I don't have it quite set up yet. Maybe by the time it's in the description, it will be. Especially
oh no,
if you're
you guys
watching
are all
on-
leaving me for the trees.
Yep, I'm in the trees.
Yep. I joined the Houdini Splicer cult.
Haha.
But yeah, you can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/BMK29. You can find me at YouTube at the same thing, and Twitter is twitter.com/ or I don't know what the website is off the top of my head, but I'm at IamVMK9. And I will say I'm going to be taking a break from streaming because of computer problems, but hopefully I'll be back soon. We
Hopefully.
will have to see.
Get those things resolved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully Minecraft Monday will be back shortly. And if you're watching in the future, you can find out by visiting my Twitch.
Yeah. All right. And as for myself, if you are watching / listening to this episode on YouTube, you are already in the right place. That is youtube.com/delicious morsels. And
I should say,
what?
what
What are you saying?
I've been trying to get these episodes out 2 weeks after they air on the audio, so they will be up on YouTube 2 weeks out. But some of them aren't quite making that. Like right now, I'm not done with 27 when we're recording 28, so that'll be a week late. But I'm trying to do 2 weeks after the episode airs. You can see it on YouTube.
Yeah. And I'm also on Twitter at Delicious Morsel. And as always, if you liked what you heard here today in this episode, please be sure to hit the subscribe button where that's an option. Leave us a review at Apple Podcasts because I hear they like that stuff. Hit the like button if that's a thing, and feel free to share this episode with a friend. We're going to be back in a couple weeks with another episode, but until then, have a wonderful rest of your day, and remember,
Play for the cows.
And would you kindly stay for the Bears?